Ever wondered what eerie items remain at the scene after someone famous dies? What peculiar possessions do detectives bag as evidence? Death scenes often contain bizarre, unexpected objects that raise more questions than answers. Number 8. Marilyn Monroe's mysterious phone. The night Marilyn Monroe died in 1962, investigators found something odd about her bedroom telephone. The phone lay on the floor beside her bed, seemingly pulled down from the nightstand. What makes this ordinary object strange? The phone lines at Monroe's Brentwood home had been mysteriously cut. According to police reports, someone had tampered with the wiring, rendering the phone useless. This discovery fueled decades of conspiracy theories about the blonde bombshell's demise. Some believe she tried calling for help during her final moments but couldn't get through. Others suggest more sinister explanations, that someone intentionally isolated her before her death. Monroe's housekeeper later claimed she saw the actress on the phone earlier that evening, but with whom was she speaking? And why would someone cut the line? The disconnected telephone, an object we all use daily, became one of the most puzzling aspects of her death investigation. Number 7. The bizarre contents of Kurt Cobain's suicide kit. When police found Kurt Cobain's body in the greenhouse above his Seattle garage in April 1994, they discovered more than just the Nirvana frontman and his shotgun. Beside him sat a peculiar collection of items, a cigar box containing black tar heroin, syringes, and drug paraphernalia, expected given his well-documented struggles with substance abuse. But stranger still was the presence of Cobain's wallet, which he had removed from his pocket and opened to display his Washington state driver's license, almost as if confirming his identity for whoever would find him. Perhaps the most puzzling item was a small, nearly empty box of shotgun shells. Investigators noted only 2 shells missing from the box, one in the weapon and one recovered from a previous incident at his home. Why would someone planning suicide purchase an entire box of ammunition, but use only a single shell? This detail has provided endless debate among those questioning the official suicide ruling. The carefully arranged items, the deliberately displayed ID, and the barely used ammunition box continue to fascinate and disturb fans and investigators alike. Number 6. John Lennon's bizarre final autograph. Hours before Mark David Chapman gunned him down outside the Dakota Building in New York City, John Lennon did something that seems almost prophetic in retrospect. The former Beatle signed an album for the man who would become his killer. The copy of Double Fantasy, featuring Lennon and Yoko Ono on the cover, bears John's signature and the date, December 8, 1980, the very day of his murder. Police recovered this album from a large planter near the crime scene where Chapman had hidden it before shooting Lennon. The album, with Lennon's fresh autograph and Chapman's fingerprints, became both crucial evidence and a macabre collector's item. It has since sold at auction for $850,000, making it perhaps the most valuable and disturbing piece of memorabilia in rock history. The album represents a chilling interaction between victim and killer Lennon's unknowing kindness toward the man who had already decided to murder him. Why did Chapman seek an autograph from someone he planned to kill? Was it part of his confused obsession with Lennon and The Catcher in the Rye? The signed album remains one of the strangest objects ever found at a celebrity murder scene. Number 5. The Cryptic Numbers by Elisa Lam's Body. The disturbing case of Elisa Lam, found dead in a water tank atop the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles in 2013, contained numerous bizarre elements. None more puzzling than what maintenance workers discovered near her floating body. Written in what appeared to be black marker on the inside of the water tank were several sequences of numbers and letters. These cryptic markings included 14/3/2013, close to the date her body was found, and other numerical sequences investigators couldn't immediately decipher. Was this some form of code? Did Lam write these herself, or did someone else leave these mysterious markings? Adding to the strangeness, police found Lam's clothes floating separately in the water, and her cell phone was never recovered. The security camera footage showing Lam's erratic behavior in the hotel elevator shortly before her disappearance became internet famous, but these numerical sequences discovered with her body received far less public attention. Officially ruled an accidental drowning complicated by bipolar disorder, many questions about the numbers remain unanswered. Were they related to her mental state or something more sinister? The Cecil Hotel's dark history and these cryptic markings continue to fuel speculation about what really happened to Elisa Lam. Number 4. John Bennett Ramsey and the unidentified HighTech footprint. When 6-year-old John Bennett Ramsey was found murdered in her family's Boulder, Colorado home the day after Christmas in 1996, investigators encountered a puzzling piece of evidence they've never fully explained. In the basement where her body was discovered, crime scene technicians found a clear footprint made by a HighTech brand boot. This footprint, approximately size 8.5, didn't match any shoes owned by the Ramsey family. More disturbingly, the print contained no identifiable DNA. For years, detectives attempted to match this footprint to various suspects and individuals who had access to the house, but without success. The unidentified boot print suggested an intruder theory, yet contradicted other evidence pointing to an inside job. Some investigators believe the print may have been left days or even weeks before the murder by a contractor or visitor to the home. Others maintain it belonged to the killer who entered the house while the family slept. Nearly 3 decades later, the mysterious HighTech footprint remains one of the most confounding pieces of physical evidence in this infamous unsolved case. Who wore those boots into the Ramsey basement? And why hasn't the owner ever been identified? Number 3. Bruce Lee's prescription painkillers. When martial arts superstar Bruce Lee died unexpectedly at 32 in 1973, investigators found something peculiar among his possessions. In his Hong Kong apartment where he collapsed, authorities discovered prescription bottles containing a powerful painkiller called Equagesic. This medication, a combination of aspirin and the tranquilizer meprobamate, was prescribed to Lee for back pain he'd been suffering since a weightlifting injury. But here's the strange part. The autopsy revealed a significant quantity of these drugs in Lee's system, yet the pill count in the bottles didn't match what should have been remaining based on the prescription dates. Some pills were unaccounted for, while others appeared to have been added to the bottles. The official cause of death was cerebral edema, brain swelling, possibly triggered by an allergic reaction to the medication's ingredients. However, the discrepancy in the pill count launched countless conspiracy theories ranging from assassination to drug abuse. Why didn't the pill count match the prescription schedule? Was someone tampering with Lee's medication? Or did Lee himself take more than prescribed due to increasing pain? The mystery of the mismatched pills continues to haunt Bruce Lee fans and researchers to this day. Number 2. The Untouched Meal in Gianni Versace's mansion. Fashion designer Gianni Versace was gunned down on the steps of his Miami Beach mansion in July 1997 by spree killer Andrew Cunanan. Inside the opulent home, investigators found something both mundane and unsettling, a fully prepared breakfast that would never be eaten. The morning of his murder, Versace had followed his usual routine. His personal chef had prepared his favorite breakfast: coffee, orange juice, and fruit on fine china, and set it on the outdoor patio table overlooking the pool. Versace had walked to a nearby cafe to purchase magazines, planning to return and enjoy his meal in the Florida sunshine. The designer never made it back. After Cunanan shot him on the front steps, the breakfast remained untouched, carefully arranged on expensive dishware, slowly warming in the Miami heat while chaos erupted around the crime scene. Police photographs show the pristine table setting amid the investigation's turmoil, a poignant reminder of life's fragility. The untouched meal, so ordinary yet frozen in time by extraordinary circumstances, became one of the most haunting images from the high-profile murder. What was going through Versace's mind during that final morning walk? Did he have any premonition it would be his last? Number 1. Einstein's missing brain. When Albert Einstein died in Princeton Hospital on April 18, 1955, his body underwent an unauthorized procedure that remains controversial to this day. Dr. Thomas Harvey, the pathologist on duty, removed Einstein's brain without the family's initial permission. But what hospital staff discovered during the routine processing of Einstein's remains was even more disturbing. The brain had vanished entirely from the medical facility. After frantic searching, officials learned that Dr. Harvey had taken the brain to his home, where he stored it in a jar of formaldehyde. When confronted, Harvey managed to obtain retroactive permission from Einstein's son to study the brain, claiming scientific importance. For decades afterward, Einstein's brain traveled across America in unusual containers, at various times stored in a cider box under a beer cooler, kept in glass jars in Harvey's apartment, and transported in the trunk of his car during moves. Perhaps most bizarrely, Harvey occasionally mailed pieces of the brain to researchers in plain cardboard boxes. Only in the 1990s did the remaining portions find their way to proper research institutions. The unauthorized removal of Einstein's brain, its subsequent disappearance, and its strange journey across America in improvised containers ranks as perhaps the strangest handling of a famous person's remains in modern history. What drove a respectable pathologist to essentially steal one of history's greatest brains? And what might we have learned had it been properly preserved from the beginning? Ever wondered what strange objects might be found at your own death scene someday? What everyday items might suddenly become evidence, clues, or mysteries once you're no longer there to explain them?